You said you wanted to treat it like a playoff mentality. Did the team answer that challenge?
Yeah, I liked what they did. But it's not just one game, right? Like I said, 5 games. I really like what we did yesterday. The great start, great focus, all the things I touched on yesterday. We didn't have any passengers. Like I look at every guy, even looking back to the video, we had a couple mistakes here or there. We could have got a little bit more dangerous here or there. But I thought it was pretty, like they were prepared and focused and played within the game plan. No passengers, no big lapses in the game. So I'm happy, and we got the result. It's one thing to play well. Like I felt like we played well in some games recently, and then not got the result. But we need the results.
How do you replicate that for the next couple? Like you said, the next 5 games.
Consistency. My approach will be the same. Hopefully theirs is the same, and then you got to go and still got to go play and execute the same way. So, and the other team's always going to have something to say about it, but that's how you do it. Consistency with your approach and your preparation, and making sure you're staying focused, shift to shift, period to period, and so on.
Do these matinee games throw a wrench into preparation at all? Since
we're kind of getting used to them now, right? Like we didn't have any forever. Our guys like them. I like them, and now like we're just seems like almost every second game's a matinee, which I love. So it to me it feels like a whole nother day off built in between the games. So I expect us to be rested and ready to go. Shouldn't be that much of a difference. When you get to the rink, your real dialed in prep starts. So shouldn't change anything.
Right after the trade, I asked Rod about Jack Drury, and he's just like why do coaches love him so much? And he said, "You'll see. You've had him for like a week now. Have you seen it? Like, do you get why all of his coaches were loving him?"
Yep, hard because he's like, dependable, trustworthy, hardworking. When you start checking all those like character traits, it's like consistent. That's his reputation. That's the MO he's built over his time in the league, even prior to his time in the league, and he delivers on that, and that's why coaches like him. You know exactly how to deploy him.
I was just gonna say, because you said that he hasn't needed to ask a lot of questions to get into the system, so pretty easy, smooth flow right in.
Intelligent hockey player, both sides of it. Yeah, no complaints.
How different is that for you? We talked about the 4th line right before the trade, and whichever of those lines is your 3rd or 4th, but just the fact that you weren't getting a lot of consistency out of one of those 2 bottom 6 lines before this trade.
Well, I think, listen, I'm going to say this, I said it all along, the Kelly, Kivirant, and OC line has been our most consistent line all year, right? And then you got McKinnon's line carrying the load on lots of nights, and the Kelly line, we had a line of kids in there that was just surviving and doing the best they can, and the other line was a little bit inconsistent, right? So if we can get the type of consistency we're getting out of the Kelly, Kivirant, and OC line, out of Drury, Colton, and Wood, with their ability to like keep teams on their toes with their forechecking, if they're solid defensively and they're going to chip in a little bit offensively, adds a whole nother line, right? And then Middlestead, the way they played in 2 of the last 4 or 5 games has been really good. If we can get that line going, now we're a 4-line team. Those lines, they're going to compete for ice time. Like I took ice time away from Kelly, Kiviranta, and OC when the trade was made to see what we got, and now they're back up because they just consistently play the right way and do what they're supposed to do. I'm not taking their ice time because people think they're our 4th line. Like that's going to be, if you're playing, you're getting the ice. If you're not, you won't. And it might go game to game. Like last night, the Middlestead line was down, but it was one of their best games. I'll tick them up, and we'll see how they do. If they can't handle it, and they'll. Like I got to look at who can check and still produce offense, and how many lines can we get going at the same time.
So that's.
Mazzola missed almost 2 months of hockey,
Yeah.
And in his absence, players like Kiviranta and Kelly stepped up on
Yeah.
PK. What are you looking to see Miles Wood do in his
Well, I think he's playing great. Are you talking just specifically for PK?
and outside of it, like probably maybe turning the attention to 5v5 production?
Yeah, like
as
I
a
just
result?
think if he's gonna play exactly the way he's been playing, like his last 2 games were outstanding. Like if you watch their game in the Islanders, it's the same for that line, the same expectations I have for the other line. Okay, so like you got to be rock solid in your checking. There's got to be a physicality and a relentlessness and resiliency to your game, and then you got to go to the net hard. Like you got to be hard to play against. Like that's bottom 6. That if I'm picking an identity, that's what I want. All those guys are built on the same sort of mold for me. The elevation of the game of like Kiviranta and OC just like pushes, like that just brings those 2 lines closer together. I'm still expecting the same thing out of all of them. The deeper we are, the better off we are. So yeah, it's going to be fun to watch. I mean, I want all 4 lines to be able to go. So like if the Middlestead line does what they did last night, because they were rock solid in their checking, they were hard to play against, they were relentless on pucks, they're going to the net, they get a goal that way. And yeah, it's why we won. It's why we won 5-0. It's not 1 line or 2 lines. It's all 4 lines playing the same way within their ability.
And with that said, what happens when Val comes back?
Yeah, well, we get even deeper. It's a good problem.
So this is normally kind of like the doldrums of the season, the dog days, whatever. But I think in the last 6 weeks, teams turned over both goaltenders. You trade Mikko Rantanen and get in these pieces. What has this middle part of the season been like for you, maybe compared to what it's like in the past, or is it
normal?
Business as usual for you?
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways it's business as usual, even though it's more hectic. It's just because if it wasn't the Rantanen deal or this injury or that injury or this call-up or that call-up, it's still just like narrow focus on like what do we need to do to win tomorrow. Then that doesn't change. Doesn't matter what else you got going on. You deal with that stuff and then you're focusing on that task. Like I'm already thinking about it today. I'm already into the video since we've been off the ice and like it's about Philly. And then so it doesn't matter if you're playing games. Like you're turning your focus to that as quickly. You're meeting with players. You're getting straight on their games. What do you want to talk about from last night's game? Then you hit the ice or not hit the ice, and then you're turning your attention to the next team you're playing as fast as you can, right? So that doesn't ever change. So it doesn't really matter how much else is going on. You're still getting to there as quick as possible.
Talk about digging into some projects over the 4 nations.
Yeah.
Looking at film and analytics.
Yeah.
How has the use of analytics evolved for you as a coach over time?
Oh, that's a long answer. Yeah, so I think like you start looking at things that you like or information that you want to use to like help evaluate your team. I start with our team first. And then I use that information to help explain to the players, like, listen, it's not just the eye test. I'm just telling you, like, this is where we're good. This is where we're not so good. It shows up in matches. Everyone kind of knows where our league rank is for certain things, at certain times during the year. I'll give it to them. Then I started using it a lot for pre-scouts, like, because it's easy to tell a story, like, what is Philly? I can show them some video quickly in 5 minutes, but if I add the analytics to it that explains, like, this is how they play, and I show them the video, like, this is what the numbers say, this is what they're really good at compared to everyone else in the league, this is what we have to be prepared for, and then show them the video, I think it paints a clearer picture. So it just helps with the preparation. Yeah, and then I kind of use it like for areas of like our team that we need to improve. Like I said, ozone play. Like I'm looking at that. I'm already working on that project because I didn't want to wait. So yeah, and it's telling me some things. Like we got some areas that we got to improve upon, and but the 4 lines. You got to remember, like now you get 4 lines. If they can go do what they did the last couple games, then like all of a sudden I like our ozone play and our rush attack better than I have throughout the course of the year. So the personnel, being healthy, being deep, everyone playing well even when they're in the lineup. It tells a tale for me, and that's what I'm kind of studying, like how good can we look and what we still need to improve upon if, as I kind of crunch the numbers with the way our lines look.
Last few, go ahead, guys.
Wi-Fi is pretty good in Creed.
Wi-Fi is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got the satellite one. Starlink never goes out. Elon Musk.
That's good?
Yeah.